Welcome to Soulistic Healing with Christine Mendes. This is a podcast focused on becoming a whole and complete person. Healing yourself is the key to excelling in every other area of your life. When you learn to do that, you unlock the door to endless potential. So I want to talk about emotional detachment today and what that means and why it happens. I think a lot of people find themselves emotionally detached from pretty much everything from the world. Uh, you allow yourself to get so deep, only so deep into certain things and into certain situations you're because of different reasons. And you just find that you're just emotionally detached, whether it be from your work, whether it be from your relationships, from your kids. You just don't allow yourself to go too deep into your emotions. And often there's really a reason for that. I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine and about emotional detachment. And, um, our conversation started off about work, and I asked her, I said, well, do you feel like are you not attached because it's not your passion, or do you think it's something that's a little bit deeper than that? And, after digging in a little bit, realizing that it is something a little bit deeper, and saying that, being emotionally detached feels safer than the possible disappointment if something doesn't happen, if something doesn't come true, if something doesn't go exactly the way that you want it to go. It's, not wanting to deal with, whatever, maybe a disappointment that you had in the past, or something that happened in the past that cause you to automatically shut down or to not attach in the first place to certain things because you don't want to be disappointed. You don't want to be hurt. You just don't want that discomfort of the unknown, of not knowing. Sometimes that happens, because of, where you might have been in your life back when you were maybe a kid. Maybe it's because of something that happened in your past relationship or childhood trauma, and you realized and you learned at an early age that just emotionally detaching yourself from people, from situations, was the safer thing to do, because in doing that you found that it hurt less, or you find that it didn't affect you as much. Becoming emotionally detached helps you to control your anger, helps you to control your pain, helps you to control your hurt, your sadness. But that's not always the best thing, and you find yourself, once you become emotionally detached or easily detached emotionally from things, or even some people have gotten so good at it, they never get emotionally attached at all in the first place, because you've just learned that. You were taught that at an early age, that, I can't trust people. I can't trust family members. I can't trust friends. I can't trust my loved ones, because if I let my guard down too much, I'm going to get hurt. If I, these things happened in my past because I let my guard down, because I thought these people loved me, because I thought this project was going to go exactly the way I thought it was going to go, because I put my everything into it. I put my all into it. And then it ended up falling apart, falling to pieces. It never went through, or it just ended up in tragedy, and it just never went according to my plan. So, if after so many times of having that happen over and over again, you can easily find yourself saying, well, I'm just not going to get attached in the first place. From now on, I'm just going to move through life, and, I'm still going to enjoy my life on some level. I'm still going to enjoy people on some level, but I'm never going to let myself get too deep. because when I get too deep, I get uncomfortable, you know, and we think, if we, in our minds, if we go too far, I won't be able to control it. If I let my emotions get too deep, too invested, I won't be able to control the outcome, and I won't be able to control if things don't go exactly the way I want them to go. And I might get hurt, you know. But in reality, it's in that going too far, in that letting go and allowing yourself to open up emotionally, whether again to a project, to a person, to an individual, to a relationship, to a friendship. uh, if you allow yourself to let go and, go a little bit too far, allow yourself to feel the emotions, feel the love, feel the pain. If you get hurt, feel the hurt. It's in that where you move past the initial fear of the emotional attachment, that you find your freedom. It's where you find your grace, where you find your strength, where you grow. Because you can't grow if you're always comfortable. If you're always comfortable and you're floating through life on an invisible, little cloud, in an island by yourself, because that's the safest place to be, you're not really growing. You're not really evolving as a human being, as a person. And sometimes growing hurts. Sometimes growth is painful. You hear kids all the time. Some kids, not thankfully not all kids, but some kids go through growing pains when they're growing up, especially if they're going to be really tall or they grow fast. They might complain. I remember my sister used to get really bad shin splints, like just pain in her legs because she was growing so fast, and nobody could help her through that pain because you can't stop it. It's a type of pain that you can't control. It's a physical pain, and but in the end, it was as a result, she grew physically. She physically grew taller. So it's the same thing in our emotional world, in our spiritual world, in our lives, when we have to grow to a new level, mentally, physically, emotionally. Sometimes that hurts. And becoming emotionally detached from situations so that you don't get hurt is stunting your growth. It's not allowing you to grow further. It's not allowing you to grow past whatever got you there in the first place. It's not allowing you to go to that next level in your business, that next level in your relationship, that next level in your friendships, that next level with your kids. People don't often talk about your relationship with your kids because, some people are so used to old school mentality. My kids just got to do what I say, do what I tell you to do. And, it's hard to see sometimes when your kids are growing up, uh, how to let them go and how to let them grow. And so we become emotionally detached even with our children sometimes because we don't know how to handle their own personal growth. So, it's on all different levels, as far as being in relation to work and projects. Even myself, I have found, over the past years, where I became emotionally detached from my work because it was one disappointment after the other, after the other. And at some point you kind of feel like, well, if nothing's ever going to go the way that I want it to go, then I'm just going to come in. I'm going to, punch the clock. I'm going to come in, do my job, and I'm going to leave, and that's it. And I'm doing what they pay me to do, no more, no less. We become emotionally detached. We don't no longer strive to achieve, no longer strive to go further, go beyond, go above because of the disappointment that we experienced in the past. And then again, with relationships, with friendships, the same thing. I let my guard down. I let this person in. I let them close to me, and look what I got in return. They broke my heart. Look what I got in return. They betrayed me. They didn't take my friendship seriously. They didn't trust me. They broke my trust. They broke my confidence. They told somebody something that I told them in confidence, and now other people know about it, and that really hurts. So I'm never going to tell anybody anything ever again. I'm just going to keep everything inside. I'm going to keep it all to myself. And we get to that point and that place sometimes where we emotionally detach ourselves from everything and everybody and everyone, and we end up on this little island by ourselves because we think it's safe, because we think that's the best place for me to be. I'm okay here on this island by myself. Nobody can hurt me. Nobody can bother me. But in reality, you're hurting yourself. In reality, that pain, that suffering that you think you're hiding from, it's still there. You never really dealt with it. You never really handled it. You never really put yourself in front of it and said, why am I this way? How can I not be this way? Sometimes we know exactly why we are the way we are. So and so hurt me. So and so crushed my heart. So and so, disappointed me. My kids disappointed me. My job disappointed me. My boss disappointed me. So sometimes we know exactly why we are emotionally detached from things. So it's not that we don't know. Sometimes it's linked to childhood trauma where you've blocked it out of your memory. So maybe you do need to dig deeper. Go ahead and see a counselor, seek counseling, seek advice. There's nothing wrong with getting help or talking to a professional to help you dig through some of those deeper wounds that you've never healed from and never dealt with. But being on an island all by yourself is not solving anything, and it's not protecting you from anything. It's hurting you more than you realize, because you're not growing, because you're not dealing with the real issue. You're not dealing with the root problem. So ask yourself today, what is it? What is it that is causing me to be emotionally detached from things? Not even just today. As you start walking through your life, as you start dealing with your kids today, tomorrow, the coming weeks, as you start dealing with your job, your boss, your coworkers, as you start dealing with your partner, with your loved ones, with your parents, with your children, whatever it is, as you start going through life, try to start seeing, where am I emotionally detached? Where have I not allowed myself to open up and let go? And why? Again, some of you know exactly why. So if you know why, go back to that root cause and deal with it. And come back to having other people around you that you can trust. You might not be able to open up all at once. You might not be able to emotionally attach yourself all at once, but you can do it slowly. It's not a bad thing to be cautious of who you open up to and what you open up to. It's always good to use wisdom and to be smart about who you choose to connect yourself with, because a lot of our connections are what's going to make us or break us. You connect yourself to somebody that's just completely negative and the wrong type of person, you're going to find yourself quickly going down more and more than you were before. So you do have to be wise and choose carefully who you connect yourself with and why you connect yourself with certain people. But once you get to the root cause and you say, okay, I know exactly why I am the way I am. I'm going to, if there's somebody in my life now that I can trust, or if somebody comes along that I feel a connection with, or if it's with my kids, I'm going to try to slowly start opening myself up in a different way so that I can grow and so that I can get out of this place where I've been stuck for so long. This place that's so-called, quote unquote, safe place for me. Being alone and on an island is not a safe place. You can't seclude yourself from people that love you and from the people that you love. Because just because you're emotionally detached doesn't mean you don't love, doesn't mean you don't feel. It just means you don't allow yourself to go deep. to go deeper in those emotions and to completely let go. Do it wisely, do it slowly, you know, test the waters, if you will. If it's something that you want to tell someone, a friend that, you it's been on your mind, you need advice, reach out, open up a little bit, and just see where it goes. If it's at work, give that thing a try. Give your idea a try. Present it. Guess what? If it doesn't work out, that's okay. But if it does, look, you've moved on past it. You've grown a little bit right there already. So, and with relationships, the same thing. Open up a little bit at a time. And as you do over time, you'll be able to know when to trust, who to trust, how to trust, deal with the problems that got you there in the first place. If it's through, like I've talked in the past, forgiveness, forgiving people, forgiving others, then maybe you need to forgive. I spoke about that in my first and second, episodes where, sometimes you have to forgive and you have to let go, and that forgiveness is not for that person, it's for you, because that's holding you hostage and from being able to grow and move past. And now in relation to what I'm talking about today, it's causing you to not be able to emotionally attach yourself to things, to people, to situations. Sometimes you don't realize how one event can carry over into other parts of your life, into your relationship with your kids, into your work. Just because, you're so stuck on the past, and not for bad reasons. Sometimes we have a good reason to be stuck. We have a good reason to be emotionally detached. But that's why you have to dig deeper and figure out how to heal from it, figure out how to move past it so that you can grow, so that you can get to a point where you find yourself moving forward in your life and creating new bonds, creating new friendships, creating new relationships, expanding your business, expanding your love life, expanding your relationship with your kids, things of that nature. You're going to find yourself opening yourself up to a whole new world once you start to finally connect with things on a deeper level again. Don't be afraid of it. It might hurt a little bit at first. You might get disappointed, and that's okay. That's a part of life. Just don't stay in that disappointment. Learn to move forward. And for those deeper issues, those deeper traumas that might have happened, even from childhood all the way to adulthood, we experience different traumas that happen that sometimes we need additional help, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. Go seek help from a counselor, from a therapist, from a professional that can help you to get outside of your own thoughts and outside of your own head and really see things from a different perspective. And sometimes that's all you need, is somebody to give you a different perspective on life and different coping mechanisms and different ways to deal with the traumas that have happened so that you can grow and you can move forward and you can start living your life in the fullest. Stop being emotionally detached and walking through life on an island. Sometimes it might just be that one person that you connect yourself with, and that might be all you need. But it all starts with you and doing that work internally first to open yourself up and let go a little bit and learn that it's okay. It's okay to get hurt sometimes. It's okay to be afraid. Do it afraid. Sometimes you have to do things even if you're afraid to do them, and you'll get positive results from it. Positive thoughts, positive thinking, positive words. Your words are powerful. Start speaking those things and making them happen. The words turn into action, turn into life. Let your life be spoken through your words positively. One step at a time, one moment at a time, one healing at a time. It is possible. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Soulistic Healing. I really hope that these words have inspired you to start or continue on your path of true healing and becoming more of a whole and complete person. And if it has, that you'll make the choice to share it with someone else who you feel may benefit from these words. Have an amazing day, and remember to stay positive and keep a smile on your face no matter what's going on.